Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman. It was called 0 Day Part 1. And as it starts, cell doors start opening at Cadmus. And when the bad guys we've been seeing this season all step out into the hall, their shock collars go off, and the general shows up to tell them that now it's time for them to repay their debt to society for their crimes. Meanwhile, Clark wakes up in his apartment because he hears people calling for help, and he can't figure out where it's coming from at first, but then he turns into Superman and flies off to a fire to save a man from the burning building, after which he saves a man whose brakes had gone out, after which he zips around saving various people from different situations. He then overhears from a distance the general talking about taking him out. Apparently, he didn't know he had super hearing before this, but I guess that's because it hadn't kicked in, but now it has. And he, tells Jimmy all about having discovered that he has this ability. And he also tells him about how he overheard the general talking about taking him out, while Jimmy marvels at the fact that he's been gaining followers on his social media account very quickly. Then Clark gets Lois a whole bunch of flowers for an anniversary of theirs, which Lois is pleased about. But then she looks again at the file, which contains the videos of all the evil Supermen in the other dimensions. Perry then enlists Lois to assist a visiting star reporter who happens to be Vicky Vale. He also assigns Jimmy as a photographer, and apparently he's hoping he'll join the planet when she leaves the Gotham Gazette, as he anticipates she soon will. Apparently, Vicky wants to write an editorial on what she considers to be the #1 danger to Metropolis, which of course is Superman. Superman, in the interim, helps the little girl find her parents before seeing a news report about a bank robbery and an invisible man. Lois sets up a bunch of interview subjects for Vicky, and of course, they're all complimentary towards Superman. Vicky, however, manages to find an interview subject of her own, and this person does not like Superman. While that's happening, Superman gets a lead on the Invisible Man, but literally falls out of the sky when he's overwhelmed by voices calling for help as he's trying to catch up to him. Vicky interviews her subject, who happens to be the tech guy that Superman took down a couple of episodes back, and he talks about how Superman is dangerous because he's so powerful, and what if he decides to turn on humanity? And Lois, who's been protesting his innocence, as it were, and saying he would never do that, does start to have flashbacks to seeing the footage of evil Supermen in the other dimensions. Superman sees some posts from people who saw him cause damage while trying to help and who were scared of him as a result, but he vows to fix things. And then he manages to find the Invisible Man. Apparently, the Invisible Man is just trying to free his sister, who is one of Cadmus's captives, and Superman says he'll help him. So the man shows him where his sister and his friends are being held, but before Superman can do anything, Cadmus takes off with them in a plane, which Superman chases. When he catches up to the plane, the prisoners are let out to attack him. A heck of a mid-air flight ensues, which leads to Superman being shoved to the ground so hard that he makes a crater. Vicky publishes her anti-Superman story, and it gets her promoted to editor-in-chief of the Gotham Gazette, so she's not planning on leaving there, apparently. The fight between Superman and the villains continues in the middle of the park where Superman landed. And then one of the villains, Dr. Ivo, eventually gets Superman in his grasp and all but knocks him out with his tech, after which the general swoops in with Amanda Waller and carts him off in his plane as Jimmy and Lois look on. So I thought this was a good episode. The story is really, picking up steam now, where, Lois and Jimmy know who Superman is, and he doesn't have to hide from them anymore. So it makes things between them smoother, and it makes it easier for them to cooperate on things without that secret in the way. And Lois and Clark's relationship is also picking up steam, which is good. And the overall plot is coming more and more into focus, where this general is trying to use these bad guys, as it were, in combination with Cadmus tech to take Superman out because he's afraid of Superman. And now they even have Superman captured. So we're at a sort of climax point where we're going to see what Superman's fate ends up being, I think, in the next couple of episodes. I wouldn't be surprised if next week is the season finale. It could go as many as 10. That wouldn't surprise me. It could go past that, but I'm guessing it won't, but only time will tell. Anyway, we are going to get another episode, and hopefully we're going to see Superman escape from Cadmus's clutches next week. If not, I hope it won't be too long after that. And hopefully we'll see Vicky Vale brought around. We'll hopefully see her learn that Superman is actually a good guy and can be trusted, because right now she thinks he can't be. And that's sort of another fly in the ointment, that she's writing all these bad things about him in her article, which just makes it harder for him to do what he's got to do. And, harder for him not to lose courage and lose sight of his mission and lose his enthusiasm for trying to help people. So that's, like I said, a fly in the ointment. So it's all kind of gelling and coming into focus and turning out to be a really good ongoing story. So we'll have to see where it goes. For now, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.